I think my biggest takeaway from it was a lot of people that were in there that were in real estate were realtors. And automatically, when I was asked, hey, what do you do? I'm like, I do real estate. First thing, oh, you're a real estate agent. Absolutely fucking not. Um, not all real estate agents who hold licenses perform real estate to sell and buy real estate for others. There's some realtors who are essentially more ethical wholesalers, which is why we got our license. Essentially, when you get into real estate, especially when it comes to investing, you want to make sure all your T's are crossed, all your I's are dotted. So if you're investing in real estate personally, there comes to a point where you're like, okay, this is deal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever it is. That's your beginning few deals, and you're gonna be like, hey, am I doing this right? And of course, we're all like that in the industry, but for real estate, it's a difference between a couple of thousand and sometimes a couple of million, not billions of dollars, depending on what kind of transaction it is. And that's where I'm at. I'm a person who got into real estate because I was an investor first. I advocate being an investor for real estate. I think you should be an investor in real estate first before you should actually be licensed in real estate. And unfortunately, in this industry, the reason why we don't see it that way is because so many people will take advantage of others. It's one of those things where we have to disclose that we're a real estate agent investing in real estate deals because it's so easy to take advantage of people in our industry that we understand that we have to disclose that to regular people that we're doing deals with. So just that in itself should tell you how powerful it is to actually hold a license as well as do transactions with your license. That being said, today when I raise my hand and I'm like, yeah, I'm in real estate, first thing, you're a real estate agent. Absolutely fucking up. And you almost, I don't want to say it's insulting, because I'm a realtor, and I love realtors, and that's awesome. But at the same time, if you're a realtor and you're also in the game itself, and you're buying properties, you're managing properties, you're arbitraging properties, it gets to the point where you're like, okay, am I a realtor or am I more of a property owner, property manager kind of situation? And I'm at that point. I'm like, I'm more of the acquisitions role. And I mean that in the sense that I understand that I'm not going back to a 9 to 5. And when it comes to real estate, especially when it comes to other people, investing in it and getting into it, and just in general, I understand that the longer you're in it, the better off you are. I also understand that if you don't roll over your projects into the next project, up shit creek essentially, and you're gonna need to figure out a 9 to 5 job. So I think in the fore end, when you know that this is it, like this is forever for you, it's one of those things where, okay, I have to make sure my systems are set up where it's going to roll into the next project and the next system. Because if you don't have it lined up, you're going to miss that bridge. And if you miss a gap, one gap in between your projects could be a difference of you having back to 9 to 5. And that's where I'm at with real estate. So, not to say that if you're in real estate and you're investing, you should be licensed. Absolutely not. But what I am saying, after a while, if you're really investing in real estate, if you're actually putting in the work, and if it's actually something that you see that, hey, this may be a profit the first time, that's not anything that you should take lightly unless you're just used to making money in a 9 to 5. And I'm not. Most of my 9 to 5s don't understand the value that I bring to them, let alone my knowledge is mostly in real estate. So 9 to 5s just don't vibe with me. I'm not going to make $50,000 a year at 9 to 5, but I can make $150,000 a year in real estate. So again, not to say you shouldn't be helping your clients. You shouldn't be reaching out to buyers that are reaching out to you. If you know someone that's like, hey, I know you're licensed, my house will be sold, help me come sell it. That's great. That's awesome. But I think when people confuse the two, want a realtor who can just list your home, or do you want a realtor who can actually walk you through the process of how to scale your real estate portfolio? So definitely one of those things I feel like people need to pay attention to a little bit closer, especially if you're hiring a realtor to do whatever job you're trying to do or service. I think it's one of those things where you have to understand where you're trying to be at too. So if it's something where you're like, I only want one house in my whole fucking life, go ahead. Hire anyone to help you. It's not really going to make a difference off of one person. But if you're a person who's like, I want to own 10 properties by the time I die, and I want them set up where my kids are going to have properties, and their kids are going to have that property, and I want it set up where they can't sell the property, that's when you're going to have to really research your realtor. You're going to have to really ask some questions. That's going to be a little obvious if they haven't dealt with that problem personally. So it's one of those things where it's like, hey, I know you're a realtor. I want to make sure my kid inherits my house when I die. What kind of will should I set up? If your realtor says, oh, you should go talk to an attorney and set up a will, probably not the realtor for you. But if your realtor is asking you how many properties do you have you ever had a trust? Do you know the difference in a trust and a will? Do you know which one's more powerful? Do you know the differences of different trusts and different wills? Did you know that neither of them are really interchangeable, but they can be included into each other, but one surpasses the other? There's so many things that a realtor should know depending on what you're trying to do in the long term. So, yeah. That was just my little 2 cents. Not to be insulting realtors over here. But I just think for more realtors, we need to do more investing things together, separately, in general. But it's just, I don't know. It's just one of those things that we have to really streamline how we have our own personal income and like what our portfolio. It's like a stockbroker that doesn't have stocks. It's kind of weird. Like if you're a stockbroker with no stocks, should we really be trusting you to trade stocks? You know, it's one of those things. But I hope you guys are having a good day. It can be easy. Let me know if you have any questions, and follow along for more realtor rants. But you guys are having a good day.